We're going to look at top coating this wall. So it's already been scratched and we're putting on the smooth top coat, which will be nice and flat and floated off. So first off, we're going to give the wall a damping with a hose. So you just want to wet it enough depending on weather conditions. Today it's quite still, but it's quite warm. So you want to give it a bit of a wetting, but not too much because you hang around all day for it to go off. The wetting is for suction and to stop it going off too fast. Just bear in mind, I'm going to wet it more at the top because it'll all go to the bottom anyway. And you'll find where the wall is, it'll just be a lot wetter at the bottom for longer, so don't go too crazy on wetting the bottom. And it's not a huge wall, so we don't want to soak it a stupid amount, but enough that it's going to give us enough time for it to work with. Okay, so that's been wet down, we can start laying on. So we've got our hawk and trowel, we've got a mix here, which is 5:1. So that's 5 sand, 1 cement with a bit of plasticiser or feb. You load it up like that, and your hawk. And you just want to start by working across the top, like so. Work your way up like that. So work your way across the top and try and get it so there's no voids at the top up to the copings, because you only have to fill them in after and it'll just take longer. Push it in. Get it on as flat as you can, so just make it easier when you come to straight edge it all off. And you're looking to get it on probably around 15mm because you'll be taking a bit off then straight edging. You don't want it on too thick because you should be taking loads off when you start straight edging. Like I say, just take your time. Don't hang around for too long because you don't want it going off. There's no hard and fast rule how long it takes to go off because there's so many different things with the weather that are going to affect it. Winter time you'll have loads of time to work with it. Summer time not quite so much, but just adjust everything accordingly. So in the summer you just wet the wall more to accommodate. In the winter you won't want to wet it much at all. But you need to wet it in a bit so you've got some suction there. Just keep working your way across. Right, so now it's all been laid on, we need to straight edge it off to get it flat so we can float it up and make it smooth. So you don't want to straight edge it off straight away, but you don't want to leave it too long either. So we'll have a little look at what it's like now. Another example again with different weather and how it's going to go off. If you're in the winter, you'd leave it, you know, it could be an hour before you want to straight edge it, but in the summer, it could be 20 minutes or so, but there's no hard and fast rule, so you just gotta get a feel for it. So another thing with straight edging is you're looking to go up and across, because that's the only way to get it truly flat. If you just go up, you're going to end up perhaps digging in more at the bottom and less at the top. If you just go across, you could have a section where you've dug in too much and then you're out further. If you're going up and across, it has to be flat. So another way of getting over that is to go diagonal, because you're doing the two jobs at once then. If you're on a longer wall, well, a taller wall, you can use your straight edge like that, a long one, to go diagonal. On a smaller wall, this is a bit harder because you can't go diagonal as much as you'd like. But we'll give it a go anyway. So what I like to do first is have a tub for any bits to go into, because you can use those when you're floating up then if you need anything to add in. So I have two hands on the straight edge and just pull it up like that. And you just want to be taking a light amount off at the time to start with. You don't want to dig in too much. And just work your way along like that. If you come to a bead, use your bead for a guide, because that's where you're going to be floating onto. So we've gone right across. You can try and go diagonal a bit there now, just to see where you are. Just go nice and light on it. You don't want to be digging in too much, it just makes more work further down the line. Well, I know already there I've got to fill in a bit, so we're just going to try this one vertically like that. Nice and lightly, not taking too much off at a time, just makes it easier, in my opinion. So we can go another one now, just up like that. Again, the beads on the end, so use it as a guide, that's what it's there for. Just to go across again like this, just to see now where we can fill some hollows in after one pass with this. So I'm just going to fill any hollows in now. So that there is a bit of a hollow, so I'm just going to lightly fill that. A bit on the top here. Any bits where it's still smooth you can fill in. Right, so now the hollows are filled in, you can go again on it. Now, as you can see, most of it's pretty rough textured now. As you can see, it's getting quite flat now. So we're nearly there now, it's flat. I'm going to do another pass now, diagonally. Right, so this is ready to float off now. You can see when I'm floating, it's not throwing too much moisture to the surface and it's not moving it about either. You just want to be floating in a nice big circular motion, like so. If there's any bits like that to fill in, I'll show you now what you can do. If you have a glove on, you can use a bit just to fill those bits in like that. Just keep working your way along in a nice circular motion. If there's any patches that have gone too dry, you might find near the top they could have gone too dry. You can just use a bit of water to damp it down with a spray bottle or flick it on with a brush. Working your way along. Fill in any bits. Just try not to drag it on the wall too much. Make sure there's no gaps up the top of the copings either. Okay, you can see now on here, if you've got along the wall, the bottom's a bit too wet, you can just see the moisture come to the surface. So we'll just leave that, we'll drop back and sponge the wall off. So you just want to have a damp sponge, you can wet it and wring it out, you don't want it too wet. And you just want to come down on the wall in a circular motion, and it just gets rid of all the float marks then. There is any, and gives it a neater finish.